ensures that his word will have certain success in the fulfillment of his purpose. ISLA 55. 8-11. PS 119. 89. That is what perfection means, as the definitions in the initial portion of this article show. Perfection and free will. The foregoing information aids in understanding how perfect creatures of God could become disobedient. To view this as incompatible with perfection is to ignore the meaning of the term, substituting a personal concept that goes contrary to fact. God's intelligent creatures are granted free moral agency, the privilege and responsibility of making a personal decision as to the course they will take. 30. 19, 20. Jos 24. 15. It is evident that it was the case with the first human pair, so that their devotion to God could be subject to test. GE 2. 15-17. 3. 2, 3. As their Maker, Jehovah knew what he wanted of them, and from the scriptures it is clear that he wanted, not an automatic, virtually mechanical obedience, but worship and service that sprang from hearts and minds motivated by genuine love. Compared to 30. 15, 16. 1 ch 28. 9. 29. 17. Job 4. 23, 24. If Adam and his wife had lacked the ability to choose in this matter, they would not have met God's requirements. They would not have been complete, perfect, according to his standards. It must be remembered that perfection as it relates to humans is a relative perfection, limited to the human sphere. Though created perfect, Adam could not go beyond the limits assigned him by his Creator. He could not eat dirt, gravel, or wood without suffering ill effects. If he tried to breathe water instead of air, he would drown. Similarly, if he allowed his mind and heart to feed on wrong thoughts, this would lead to entertaining wrong desires and finally bring sin and death. Ches 1. 14, 15. Compare GE 1. 29. Mount 4. 4. That the creature's individual will and choice are determining factors readily becomes evident. If we were to insist that a perfect man could not take a wrong course where a moral issue was involved, should we not also logically argue that an imperfect creature could not take a right course where such moral issue was involved? Yet some imperfect creatures do take a right course on moral issues involving obedience to God, even choosing to suffer persecution rather than change from such a course, while at the same time others deliberately engage in doing what they know is wrong. Thus not all wrong actions can be excused by human imperfection. The individual's will and choice are deciding factors. In the same way, it was not human perfection alone that would guarantee right action by the first man but, rather, the exercise of his own free will and choices motivated by love for his God and for what was right. PR 4. 23. The first sinner and the king of Tyre. Human sin and imperfection were, of course, preceded by sin and imperfection in the spirit realm, as Jesus' words at John 8. 44 and the account in chapter 3 of Genesis reveal. The dirge recorded at Ezekiel 28. 12-19, though directed to the human king of Tyre, evidently parallels the course taken by the spirit son of God who first sinned. The pride of the king of Tyre, his making himself a god, his being called a cherub, and the reference to Eden, the garden of God, certainly correspond to biblical information concerning Satan the devil, who became puffed up with pride, is linked to the serpent in Eden, and is called the god of this system of things. 1t3. 6. GE 3. 1-5, 14, 15. Re 12. 9. 2 Co 4. 4. The anonymous king of Tyre, residing in the city claiming to be perfect in prettiness, was himself full of wisdom and perfect adjective related to Heb. Kamiddle.lal in beauty, and faultless Heb. Tarmiddle.mim in his ways from his creation onward until unrighteousness was found in him. Es 27. 3. 28. 12, 15. The first or direct application of the dirge in Ezekiel may be to the line of Tyrian rulers rather than o textoi acute miritra longo, perfection 605. Since all were descendants of the sinner Adam and hence sinners, it is clear that such men were faultless and blameless in the sense of measuring up fully to God's requirements for them, requirements that took into account their imperfection and disability. Compare Mic 6. 8. even as a potter would not expect the same quality when molding a vase from common clay as he would when forming one from special refined clay, so Jehovah's requirements take into consideration the weakness of imperfect humans. PS 103. 10-14. Issa 64. 8. Though committing errors and wrongs, because of their fleshly imperfection, such faithful men nevertheless manifested a complete heb. Shalmiddle. Heart toward Jehovah. 1K11. 4. 15. 14. 2K20. 3. 2Ch16. 9. Thus, within the limits possible for them to attain, their devotion was complete, sound, satisfying the divine requirements in their case. Since God a judge was pleased with their worship, no human or spirit creature could rightly find fault with their service to him. Compare Lu 1. 6. Heb 11. 4-6.